Hi everyone, my name is Steve Rowe, and today we're going to talk about Yin and Yang. In Japanese they call it Yin and Yang. It's the balance of the universe. Most of you will be familiar with the Yin and Yang symbol, the black and the white with the S in it and the little dot either side. And in a way it's probably one of the oldest symbols used by mankind. It was some 5,000 years old in bones, inscripted on bones and so on. But it's a very good reflection of the universe, and for us this is important. When you look at the Yin and Yang symbol, you've got the circle around the outside, and that represents infinity. And you've got the black and the white parts inside with the S line down the middle that joins the infinity from top to bottom, and is still in infinity. Everything that we recognise in this universe, we only recognise because it has an opposite. So therefore, we only know it's light because it gets dark. We only know it's cold because it gets hot. We only know we're a man if we know someone who's a woman, and so on. You only know you're tall if you know someone who's short. So everything is relative to everything else. And the idea is that in infinity there is stillness. Inside infinity, that which is finite, that which we see or recognise with our mind, we see and recognise because we have something to compare it with. And of course, when that is brought into balance in this life, that's the S shape down the middle, and that brings it back into infinity again. That's the Tao, that's the way, that's the Do of Aikido, Karate Do and so on. So the Yin and Yang symbol is also spinning. And that's why it's that shape. It would be a straight line if it was still, but it's S-shaped because it's spinning. So the universe in almost all ancient cultures is seen as a spiral, an action. So therefore one energy inside that spiral hits the edge of the spiral, comes back in its opposite form. And that's why one thing doesn't exist without the other. And to bring them into balance is to bring them back into that infinite state. For us, that's our objective, that's our training, is to bring us into a proper balanced state to discover our real infinite self. This is interesting because in our training I talk a lot about emotional intelligence, and we use the ideas of Yin and Yang when we do our standing postures. When we stand in a Yin posture, which most people are familiar with as like, I don't know, hugging a tree or something. That standing posture is Yin posture, and the energy that you feel inside your body is Yin. When you turn the hands out and press, it becomes very Yang. Now we use the Yin and Yang postures, upper and lower, in our training every single day, but we also use it to produce feelings inside. So that when we stand in a Yin posture, we're working on patience, kindness, tolerance and compassion. You can't be a good, proper martial artist without those qualities. And of course, when we're in Yang, we're working on courage, resolve, determination, power. So you get the contrast between the two. And to me, in our martial arts training, you can talk about light and dark, male and female, internal and external, but actually, for me personally, the most important part of Yin and Yang is developing those qualities to produce emotional intelligence. So much martial arts training is violent, so much of it is aggressive, and you've got to be careful that you don't become that which you hate. You know, if you joined martial arts to deal with other people and things that are violent and aggressive, if you only train in that Yang way, you're only going to become the same. And we know that violent and aggressive people are really scared people that are unable to cope with life. To me, they look like a baby who spat out his tummy and crying all the time. You know? So good people, strong people, powerful people are happy. And in so doing, you know, they have that patience, kindness, tolerance and compassion. They've got that first, you know, so good manners, good etiquette, ways of dealing with people. You don't have to like somebody to have patience and kindness towards them. Even with training partners, there are going to be people in your classes that you don't want to train with, but it helps you to develop your patience, kindness, tolerance, compassion. The same at work, the same in relationships. That which makes us function well within society, makes us work well in teamwork, really important. But in the same way, we mustn't be weak. So therefore, we have to be able to switch to resolve, courage, determination, power. And if you can go from one to the other, in your training, you do it like that. And you can do it actually in training, actually in the dojo. Everyone bows, everyone's polite, courteous. Then you come to do your pairs work, you bow, and as you come up, you're now ready to go. It's a fight. You're going to have a full-blooded attack, and you're going to learn how to deal with it. And you're going to have to dig deep down into your bootstraps to be able to get those reserves. And the same when you eat bitter with good, hard training. So both qualities are really important. That's what makes us a martial artist. The idea that we can balance both yin and yang. So when need be, we can be patient, kind, tolerant and compassionate. And when we need to be, we can also have that resolve, courage, determination, and you will have to kill me to stop me. Yeah? To me, that's what makes a good martial artist. And when I'm looking at other martial artists, if they're just violent, aggressive, angry, I'm afraid for me, they've gone down the wrong path. But when you get a good person, a good, strong person who functions really well in society, in the family unit, at work, in a club, if they've got a diverse group of people training with them in their club and they're able to deal and cope with all of those, that's a good teacher, that's a real teacher. Okay, that's Yin and Yang for me. Thank you very much.